Good morning. It's Friday, May 10th. Welcome to this free preview edition of the VIP pre-market prep. We're going to go over the macro and catalysts for this morning. And then we're going to get to this table soon, our model swing portfolio, to see if there's any suggested changes in that. Over some charts and some catalysts. So macro perspective, man, QQQ SPY, not a great earnings season, to be honest with you, but also bad economic data. That's part of it. Maybe because we've been talking about bad news is good news. You just have to be careful that the bad news doesn't get too bad. At some point, the paradigm can change. But right now, the data's coming in. We have weak consumer demand showing from Roblox, Starbucks, Amazon, Celsius, Disney, and others. And we have jobs data coming in weak. So that is giving fuel to decrease interest rate expectations. In fact, there was a Fed speaker, I think was it Bostic, I'm not sure who it was this morning, who said that he expects one rate cut this year. Doesn't know when, but he said he expects one rate cut this year. So bad news is good news for now. I'd be cautious, as I've been saying, be a stock picker here. You still want to avoid stocks with really bad balance sheets that are going to need to access the capital markets. But as you can see here, things are looking great on the major indices. And let's just look at, we have gold in our portfolio above the 20 DMA this morning. I wanted to point that out to you. We have uranium in our suggested portfolio. We'll get to again at the end of the show. Uranium looking great. I think we have a $59 swing target on that, at least, that we've been talking about. And we have XLE/USO, however you want to play that. Man, XLE looking like it's primed to break above the 20 DMA, 94.50. Yes, look at that. The bid is above 94.50 this morning. So these three, we gave you gold, uranium, XLE as part of our model portfolio, doing all great this morning. Wow, beautiful. I wish I listened to myself fully. We'll show you here. There's a sneak. Go back to this real quick, right? My portfolio probably is 80% of what I suggest. I cheat a little bit. I do my own stuff, but for the most part, I have like 80% alignment with what I'm recommending for people. The one thing I don't have is XLE, which I've been telling people. And that chart looks great this morning. Okay, so going back here to our now catalyst. Let's take a look at our catalyst. There were lots of ERs last night. By the way, speaking of ERs, Monday, the ERs that we're watching are AUGX, IDN, and Quick. I don't know IDN at all, but we interviewed someone on IDN, I believe, Chris Tuttle last month. We're going to be interviewing him again next week on some of his favorite picks. I believe IDN was in there. So we'll get the earnings report Monday. We'll talk about that. And AUGX I own, all right? It's not recommended. Actually, it's not in our swing portfolio. So that's one of my own personal things I'm trying out. And then we'll talk about the ACTG earnings in a bit that just came out last night. Okay, so let's go to our top list over here. Some big catalysts I want to talk about. Let's do NVAX first, all right? We'll throw NVAX right at the top here. NVAX, a big deal with Sanofi, 1.5 or $1.4 billion deal. Where is it? Anyway, something like that. 1.4, 1.5 with $500 million up front. 1.4 billion. All right, this is to develop COVID vaccines and COVID flu combination vaccine. So 500 million up front and the rest 900 million over time in milestones. And importantly, they removed a going concern warning with their financials, with their 10Q. Removed a going concern. Now, NVAX, this is huge because NVAX has short position, 44 million shares short, 11 days to cover. If you look at the market cap going in today, 627 million, but they're getting 500 million cash up front. They also have a couple $100 million in debt. But to me, this deal, especially the removal of the going concern, really, really important. I think shorts will have no choice but to cover here. Okay, this morning I gave you this alert. And when this thing was like headed right around here, actually, I showed the chart to our VIP members. Let me see if it's in there. There it is, right there. NVAX dips look delicious. Give that to you. 898. 898. We gave that alert over there. NVAX now 1014. So basically, I don't think this stock can stay below 10 today. Anything below 10, you buy that up just simply on the valuation, simply based on $500 million in cash. Takes the stock to roughly around 10. It's more like $8, $9, but now you got to add a sentiment premium because the going concerns removed. You got to add the short squeeze dynamics. You got to add the fact that there's future milestones of another 900 million. So add it all up, and I think fundamentally you can put a new $10 floor on this thing and have confidence to buy the stock under 10, in my opinion. All right, this is just like a trade idea. All right, I'm not actually. When we get to our again, just a quick peek. When we get to that model portfolio, I'm not adding NVAX to this. All right, not going to add it. This is just you can trade however you like, whatever time frame you pick. All right, just letting you know. I think there's an opportunity there. All right, other opportunities. Let me just let you know. I haven't been trading ALCC. We've been talking about it. There's a SAM Ultimate SPAC. The deal has closed. Ticker symbol changed to OKLO. You can take a look at that if you're interested. Okay. Now let's go to SRTS. We will do the ACTG in a second. All right. SRTS microcap. Wow, very small microcap. They have 15 million in cash and no debt, $62 million market cap. And their report was like a blowout. Look at this. 14-cent EPS beats 6-cent estimate loss, and sales of 10.6 million beat consensus of 4.1 million. Oh my gosh, look at this. 160% beat on revenue and 20-cent beat on EPS. This is a big signal I always look for in stocks when the consensus is at a loss, but instead you have a profit. Okay, that's huge. That's always a big mover. Okay, so SRTS up 30% this morning. Let's take a look at the chart. We'll look at the NVAX chart too. I forgot to do that. But SRTS chart over here. Let's see what we got. We're at 494. We have 5 right here. You got some resistance at these candles. It's right there. Okay. We're at this candle resistance on that 3-month chart. Let's go further back. 6 months. You see that spike to 538, but that's an anomaly there. So more like 495 is your resistance on the 1 year. Let's switch to the weekly, see what we see on the weekly chart. Weekly chart, beautiful. Okay. So the two levels I want you to look at is this 495 level we're at right now, $5, call it $5, and then the 200-week moving average at 537. Oh, that perfectly coincides with that spike candle there at 538. All right, so 5 and 538 are key resistance levels, important levels. Wow, that 538 is so important. Look at that 200-week moving average over here, how it held. That was a 558, but roughly around, well, it was a 200-week was 558 at the time. So 5 and 538, really important levels. Let's see, what would happen if it breaks 538? It did it this morning, actually, in pre-market. So keep that in mind. If it breaks, that's your resistance up there. Around 595 or so would be a resistance level intraday if we break that 538. That's on SRTS. Another stock, which I'm not ready to. I don't know this stock well enough. I'm not going to add it to the model portfolio. These are just trade ideas. Choose whatever time frame you want if you want to play them. All right. Now, something that is in our model portfolio that got added right after earnings, Bros, right? We added this right in the morning. Let's see what the opening was after the morning, $31. So let's say we added that at $31.15 a couple days ago. We're at $33.87 this morning. This morning, we have an analyst came in and upgraded Bros. Where is it? Upgraded Bros. TD Cohen. TD Cohen upgraded from $33 to $46. Fun, because I am actually in this one. Bros, $34 call options. I usually don't call out specific contracts, but in this case, a couple days ago, I did call out. I said, check out the June $34 and $35 strikes. I'm in the June 34 strikes, $1.10. They'll be going up. I initially got in them at 65 cents. I averaged up a little bit. So Bros looking good this morning, part of a model portfolio. Very happy we added that. We're keeping that in our model portfolio. Let's take a quick look at the technicals. We had given you a target of 33 to 34, actually, right after earnings, right, that morning. When we did the show this morning, stock opened at 31. We're like 33, 34 is your next resistance level. So now with this upgrade, what do we have to do to get to that 36.17, right? We want to get to 36.17. I think what we have to do is break this candle here, which is 34. 34.02. Ooh, we're kind of close already. This is exciting. 34.02. We break 34.02. I think we can make a run for 35 to 36. All right, so I'm upgrading my targets now. Our previous target was 33 to 34. Now with that analyst upgrade came in this morning, now we're moving up our target to 35 to 36 on Bros, all right? And that's staying in our model portfolio. Bitcoin, just want to point out, while the market's definitely helping right now, everything's pumping, but the 20 DMA, keep an eye on it. We're flirting with breaking back above at $63,075, all right? That's not making any changes there, keeping a 5% allocation. Zim, man, I'm so upset I missed him because we were in this right at the bottom, right at the inflection when Iran attacked Israel, and we're worried about more Houthi strikes, and then it just didn't. It fizzled out, and I bailed, and I missed it. So I missed this whole thing. Just wanted to let you know. Look at this major breakout. You can see that double top of the candles here, which was around 1550. So it broke above 1550. And the next resistance, you're into that gap now, and the next resistance is right at that earnings. So where did we close before earnings? The low of the day there, 1737, pretty much there, 1684 now this morning. Huge short position. So unfortunately, we almost had this. We had the right entrance, but I left too early. So 5 days to cover 21 million short. Congratulations if you're still in Zim. TSM, part of our model portfolio. We're leaving it in there in that 20% allocation for AI big tech. All right. This is one example. Again, where what I suggest to you, I don't always personally do. I had TSM, but last night I needed cash because I wanted to buy some SRTS. I used some of that money to buy NVAX. So I said, what can I sell last night? I needed cash. I sold TSM last night because I had a good bid. It was very liquid in after hours, and I was up on it nicely. So I sold the TSM, and now it's up 3%, but hopefully I'll make much more than SRTS this morning, but no change. TSM still in our model portfolio. Great news this morning. $4 a share dividend, although that's not USD. I don't know what the conversion would be. NT. All right. NT, whatever that is. And so I'm not sure how much that is, but also their April sales soared 60% due to AI demand. TSM, love it, own it. It's in our suggested allocation, not going away. All right. I don't think I have time to cover okay, I'm just going to only cover VKTX and ACTG now. All right. Okay. So VKTX, I think this thing's broken out. Just go here. All right. 82 is a very important level though. So we keep getting new closing highs on VKTX. All right. And it's been a little bit of a tease because it's at this level where, like, if you break this series of candles, you see this? It's like a shallow cup that's forming right here. If we break this series of candles, you go to your next resistance zone, which is around 85 to 90. Okay. So I've been saying, hey, there's been numbers I've been giving me every day. Like, I think it was 80.38 was one of the numbers. I said we close above 80.38. You make a quick shot to 85. But I don't even know if you need to do that because, as I said, if you throw up a line chart instead of a hollow candle chart, you'll see. Okay, you can see visually there we're actually at new closing highs every day now. So I think this was the closing high I wanted to break right there. Okay, on this day on April 30th. So we broke that. Very hard to look at these line charts anyway. But let's go back to our open candles, hollow candles. All right. Anyway, I think this is broken out. 82 would be nicer. There's some resistance at 82. If we break out at 82, you can see the 82 resistance is this candle right here on March 7th, and also this candle up here at like 82.07, somewhere in there. 81.81. So roughly 82 is an important level. And what's this candle at? Yeah. So if we break 82, then I think it really rockets up to the 85 to 90 range quickly. All right, so VTTX in play. I think we're especially with because it moved. Let me see what is that biotech ETF? XBI up 1%. Okay, so hopefully with the market tailwinds, that'll help to bust out VTTX. All right, ACTG had earnings last night. It was good. But it was nothing spectacular. The headlines beat. You can see this. 24 million beats 13 million. It looks great, but that's patent license revenue, right? The extra 11 million there. No, extra 13 million there. So 11 million was the estimate. They got 24 million. So this is a one-time patent license revenue from a lawsuit that they got settlement. So that was 13 million. But unfortunately, 6 million of that was set aside for some lawsuit by former shareholders, right? So you get 13 million one time, you wipe away 6 million. So they should have had 12-cent EPS, but because of that lawsuit, it's 6-cent EPS. The guide was for 0-cent EPS. And so the headlines look like a huge, gigantic beat. But it's really not because you can't put a multiple on that 6 cents, right? So, if I were to calculate what's the difference between yesterday and today? What's the new data? What's the delta of information that can cause a delta in price? You get 6 cents cash, right? That you can add to the stock, right? So we closed at 518. So let's say, okay, we can go to 524 now on this report. But there is a little bit of other good news too. The 45 million EBITDA that they're projecting for their new oil and gas business that they bought, they basically, not officially, but they slipped in that it's more like 50 million, not 45 million. So they didn't officially raise the guidance, but they threw out a $50 million number. That's because the price of oil has gone up since they bought the oil and gas company. So their initial guidance was based on oil being $10 cheaper. Now oil is $10 higher. So that 45 million is 50 million. 50 million. And they also kind of said that that's cash flow. All right. They said cash flow multiple times. So they're talking about 50 million cash flow. They get 73% of that 50 million. So 73% of 50 million. So they're getting 36 million. They're at a $36 million run rate right now in cash flow on this oil and gas business. And on top of that, that $4.60 in cash. All right. Stocks at 518. $4.60 in cash plus 36 million. So check this out. The market cap right now is 518. So the market is awarding a 60 million market cap for 36 million cash flow from the O&G business. So basically, the O&G business is trading at 1.7 PE. So that's how I look at this business. ACTG is worth $4.60 cash, plus you're paying a 1.7 PE for the oil and gas business. All right. But a lot of that was already known. I did the math on that. The upside guidance, the loose increase in guidance they gave yesterday is worth that 45 to 50 million thing. That's worth about 12 cents in valuation. Plus, he adds 6 cents from the settlement. That's about 8. No, I take it back. It's more like not 12 cents, 15 cents. Oh, I came to about 20 cents, right? 20 actually is about 20 to 25 cents. Okay, when I did the math last night. So 20 to 25 cents. So you can say, okay, last night's report is worth 20 to 25 cents from 518. Maybe this thing can re-rate to $5.40, something like that. but we have to wait and see. I was listening to the conference call, and the questioners were a little bit disappointed. I don't want to say disappointed, but they're impatient. The questioners are impatient, especially regarding this 460 million cash hoard. They're like, how come you haven't done any buybacks yet? When's the next acquisition? They're like dying for that. They're like, so the company's a little bit boring, sitting on a lot of cash. All right. They just use a little bit of their cash to get this earnings flow from oil and gas. So there's a lot of impatience from the investors, and they want to see much bigger. They want to see the stock, re-rate to $10, $15. They want to see that cash used. And instead of this being something that's worth $6 to $7, which is the fair value of this, I think right now is $6.50 to $7. It doesn't seem huge, right? We're at $5, we're saying it's worth $6 to $7. But the risk reward is really good because the cash alone is $4.60. So I love this stock as something that can sit in a retirement account without babysitting it, because there's basically no downside. There's no downside. You have optionality upside to about $6 to $7 based on today's metrics, plus further optionality upside when they do deploy their cash for either buybacks or acquisitions. Last night they said, hey, we haven't done any buybacks because we want to save our money for acquisitions, basically. We think we can make, a bigger return by making acquisitions rather than buying back our own stock. They have an open buyback program. They just haven't used it. So that's the story with ACTG. All right. I don't think there was anything to say, oh my gosh, this thing's going to explode today. Yet at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised to see buyers coming in and taking it up by 25 cents today. I also wouldn't be surprised if initial reaction, some people who wanted more, some people who wanted an announcement of another acquisition today, they wanted to see buybacks done. Those people that, suffering from poor sentiment, they might sell off the stock in the morning. And I think that'll be a buying opportunity on ACTG. Any dip in ACTG, I think, is a buying opportunity. I think it's going to, if it goes below 5, it's going to go back up above 5 quickly. But most importantly, this is a very, very safe stock. $4.60 cash and 46 million cash flow from their, or 36 million cash flow, I think it was, I calculated, on their oil and gas assets. Okay, so that's the story with ACTG. So let's quickly, to close it off, let's look at our model portfolio here and see if we're going to be recommending any changes. So yesterday we said, hey, double down. Make sure we've had this at a long time, 15 to 20% on VTTX, but bolded green yesterday because we're like, hey, this looks like it's in the midst of a technical breakout, along with not just the technicals, but the catalyst of the CEO giving that positive commentary yesterday about partners wanting to do deals earlier on. They're not wanting to wait for more mature data. They're satisfied with the data now. So partners are open to doing deals right now. Combine that with a technical breakout and now the market breakout and XBI breakout. So VKTX, we bolded that green to say, hey, make sure you have your allocation, or if you want to increase it now, it's a good time to increase that allocation. No change to NVIDIA, Google, Amazon, MU, TCM. TCM, great news today. Possibly something to trade if you're interested in trading that, or just make sure you own it in your long-term account. Like I said, I don't always listen to myself. That was the one stock I sold last night to raise money to do some trading today. All right. Everything else staying the same. TMDX, Lantheus, CRISPR, Cytotech, Uranium Gold XLE. This has been fire, man. Oh my gosh. Let's just bold these. I showed you those breakouts on those charts earlier. That was like looking really good. Make sure you got this. I've been pounding the table on uranium every day for the last couple of weeks. Now I'm like, gold also technical breakout this morning. XLE also technical breakout this morning. All three of them. Make sure you got exposure on these three. We're keeping our Bitcoin at 5%, keeping our cannabis at like 1% to 2%. Very low, 2.5% it says there. But like I keep saying every day, why do we need to take risk on this when all this other stuff, hand over fist, these companies are making money? This is so speculative. Anyway, now our growth portfolio. I love this. Bros, right? We're going to get that big move, hopefully, out of Bros today. We went over that chart and the new upgraded price target. So make sure you got that exposure to Bros. We added Hood yesterday on that earnings beat. Beautiful earnings beat. How's Hood doing? Let me just look at Hood. Hood this morning. Okay, so Hood 17. Oh, it actually didn't have a great day yesterday, surprisingly. Good opportunity, I believe. Why? It was down 3%. So opened, it had a gap up, and it went right to the 20 DMA. So it's sitting on the 20 DMA right now. I think that's a good opportunity, Hood. All right, I'm just going to take that back to our black color that was added yesterday. And then, yeah, man, Uber and Celsius, that was in here, and I moved it to just my long-term account. and man, they're doing good. So a little unfortunate. I should have just kept that bigger exposure in the swing account. And we're leaving VTSI the same. Earnings coming up in a couple of weeks. Alar earnings are coming up, I think, Monday or Tuesday. So we're going to keep our 20% exposure to our value microcap. So no big changes today on the allocations of our swing accounts. All right. But as I said, TSM, great news today. VTTX, technical breakout. Gold, uranium, XLE, all look like they're doing technical breakouts. Bros, all right, these are all the stocks. In fact, let me just do this quickly so we throw them at the top so we can see it. And then NVAX with the news. So VTTX, NVAX, Bros. All right, we're going to move TSM up there. And we have VTTX up there. And then also on the macro there, gold, uranium, XLE. So gold, uranium, XLE, all right? Bros, VTTX, NVAX, TSM. And then we'll see if SRTS works out. Okay, but SRTS and NVAX just trades, all right? Not sneaking their way into any longer-term portfolios for me. So good luck, everyone, today. Oh, there's a comment. Thoughts on Soon? It's just too overvalued, man. I can't invest in SOUN. Amar, thank you for that note there. There you go. I know it's up 17% today, but it's a $1.5 billion market cap on something like 15 million revenue a quarter, or was it? Did they hit 20 million yesterday? Let's see. 11 million revenue. So 40 million revenue, 1.5 billion. There's just better things out there. All right. I know it's very volatile. If you get it on the right side, you can trade it and make a lot of money. So good luck if you're trading that, but not for me. I look at story trading. We look not only at catalyst sentiment, we also look at technical fundamentals and technicals. The fundamentals on SOUN don't make sense to me compared to other opportunities out there in the market. So listen, guys, join us at our community. It's 929 storytrading.com/app, storytrading.com/app. You can get a free preview. We'll see you there. You can see us every single morning. APP Sungirl had a great report. I don't know it well, though. All right. So it was brought up yesterday. We talked about it yesterday. We said, hey, it can have a great day today, but I don't know APP well enough to recommend it or trade it. And I got my hands full with the other ones. So APP does look like, from what I saw, and oh my gosh, what is this? Poet. All right, I got to go, guys. There's a lot going on. I got to go manage my money. Good luck, everyone. Storytrading.com/app, storytrading.com/app. Download our app for free, 1 week free trial, and you can see me here every single morning at 9 a.m. We also have a chat room. You can collaborate with some other people, and I post some notes in there once in a while when I see something important. Good luck, everyone. Take care.